Children, now this story of Palampur takes us through different types of production activities in the village. And we will now look into the organization of production. Actually, it means factors of production, but it's the same as organization of productions. Now, what is production? Production is what we produce things that we want. So, how can we define production? Is when we produce different goods and services that we want. It is known as production. So you must remember this definition. What is production? When we produce different goods and services that we want is production. So whatever production is, everything that we produce is what we want. Okay, so now let us look into the factors of production, but in your book it's the same as organization of production. Now let us look into the factors for production and what are the four requirements. It is land, labor, physical capital and human capital. Now let's go into first the land. Now to set up any kind of factory or industry or some activity, land is required. It is the most important factor to produce anything. We require land. Okay, whether it's for farming or where you're putting up a small factory or some manufacturing unit, land is required. And along with land, you need more other natural resources like water, minerals, forest, from where you can get other things that suits your kind of production. Okay, so even if you are doing farming, land is required, water is required, soil quality is required. So land is one of the most important factors of production. It's one of the most important requirement. Okay, next we go to is labor. To produce anything, labor is required, whether it's skilled labor who are skilled in something, or it is unskilled labor to do some kind of transportation work, carrying material from one place to another. So we need two types of labor, skilled as well as unskilled labors. Without that, we cannot produce anything. So the second factor, as I told you, is labor. Now before I go into the physical capital, let's see human capital. Now humans are required because they have the skill and knowledge to produce more extra better quality things. So humans are also an important factor in production and they're called as human capital. We'll be learning about human capital in the next chapters to come. Okay children, the next factor is physical capital. That means we require money to set up or produce anything, and there are two types of physical capital. One is called as fixed physical capital and one is called the working capital. Now what is fixed and what is working capital? Now let us look into it. First, fixed capital is that they are used for a long period of time for production. That means if we have to set up a factory, what are the fixed things we require? We require a building, we require machinery. Okay, similarly, like when you make the house, there are fixed things in your house. You order for a sofa, a washing machine, a fridge, a bed, which is fixed. You don't keep changing it. It is for one time cost, isn't it? So that is, when we use it for a long time, it is called as a fixed capital. That means we have put some money into it, okay, which will be there for a long time. We don't change this often. But then there's another kind of capital, money, which is called as working capital. Now to run a business, you need day-to-day kind of money. Suppose I have set up a factory on making pens. Now every day I need some kind of raw material, so I need money for that. Okay, to carry on. Then I have to transport this, I have to pay the transport cost, I have to pay my labor. So every day I require money. Similarly, when we run our homes, we have the fixed furniture, a fixed bed, TV, fridge, that is all fixed. But to run the home daily, for your food, for other things, you require money daily. So that is called as the working capital. Okay, the capital of business which is used in day-to-day trading operations. Every day we require money for something or the other. That is called as working capital. So the last factor that we have learned, apart from land, labor, human capital, it is fixed capital, and it is further divided into two types of physical capital. Sorry, it is called physical capital, which we divide into fixed capital and working capital. Okay, so I hope you have understood this. Let's zoom in to show you again. They are used for a long period of time of production, and working is for day-to-day trading operations. Okay. Children, now let us look into the next topic that is there in your textbook, farming in Palampur. And these are the topics that we are going to learn. That is, land is fixed. Is there a way one can grow more from the same land? Will the land sustain? How is land distributed between the farmers of Palampur? Who will provide the labor? The capital needed in farming, the sale of surplus farm products. So these are the various topics that we are going to cover under farming in Palampur. Now children, moving ahead to the topic farming in Palampur, we look into the first point, land is fixed. Okay, now we say land is fixed. Now what does it mean land is fixed? Fixed means that the land area that is available for cultivation or for agriculture is fixed. That means there is no other land available where agricultural activity can be done in Palampur. Why is it fixed? Because whatever the land was available, it has been used to make houses or roads. So now there is limited land where farming can be done. And as you know, the 75% of the people are into agriculture in Palampur. So there is a constraint of land. And when somebody asks you how can we increase production, we would say use more land and plant more crops, huge areas of land and plant crops there. But now in Palampur there is no land available. Okay, since 1960 there has been no increase in the land there in Palampur, so it is fixed. Whatever land is available, they have to grow crops there. And but they have converted certain wastelands into cultivable land, where by putting fertilizer, improving the soil and irrigating it properly, so they were able to cultivate some wastelands, but there is no more land available for cultivating crops. Okay, so now there is a constraint. So how can we raise the production from these land that are being cultivated? And that is all fixed. We cannot increase the land area. So now let us look into the next topic and see, okay, is there any way in which the farmer can increase production? Okay, we look into some of the ways.